It's a new season of Love It or List It, and guess what? There's a new designer in town.
And she brought demo day confidence and zero patience for indecisive husbands.
Hi there, I'm Shari, and this is my BFF Rhonda.
And welcome to Designing Besties. This podcast is for women
and brave men
who eat, sleep, and breathe interior design and recognize their addiction to HGTV.
Whether you're rearranging your living room for the 12th time or here to justify another home goods spree, you're in the right place.
Let's talk design, disasters, and all the beautiful chaos in between.
We're diving into the season 20 premiere of Love It or List It, and this one's called A Place to Grow or A Place to Go, which honestly sounds like the title of a breakup album, and spoiler, someone is ready to break up with their house.
Jen wants out. Theo wants to stay, and the poor house is stuck in the middle with 15 years of starter home trauma.
Oh no. Enter Paige Turner, stepping into the designer role after Hillary Farr's long reign. She's not trying to be Hillary 2.0. Paige is bringing her own flair and flipping the script in her own way.
Meanwhile, David is doing what he does best, throwing real estate spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks.
Will Paige win Jen over with a revamped version of their current home? Or will David finally get someone to say yes to a listing without budget-induced side-eye?
Let's unpack it all, from tight hallways and renovation chaos to the one Love It or List It tradition that lives on. David still has to do all the driving.
Yes, he does. Well, for those of you familiar with Love It or List It, I love this show, but I have to be honest, I haven't watched it as much in the past few years as I used to.
It did get a little routine, yes.
It gets a little predictable, but the show features David Vicentin and Paige Turner now placing Hillary Farr.
Yes.
And David is a Canadian real estate agent and started the show 20 seasons ago. Like I looked it up to see it, and I just thought, wow. And I looked up also to see if David and Hillary started the show season 1, and they absolutely did. So it was this team back in 2012 who actually started Love It or List It.
Well, I remember when it was Should I Stay or Should I Go?
I have no idea what that show is.
That was the Canadian version.
Okay.
That HGTV must have bought or, took over, or whatever the right word is for business. But yeah, it was Should I Stay or Should I Go, which of course is a fantastic song. But Love It or List It is what came into HGTV into America with Hillary and David.
Back in 2012, they premiered. I actually watched the very first episode.
Oh,
and
yeah?
What's funny is that the formula doesn't change.
No, it doesn't.
And that's part of why, like Hillary said, she left the show after 19 seasons because she wanted new challenges and felt like the show had become a little too predictable and routine.
Yeah, I'm with her. I will say, Paige really was a great selection to replace her.
Yep, she
reminds me a little bit of Top Chef. For a long time, they had this spokesperson named Padma who was really quite famous, and she left. And there was sort of this big, like, no one can replace Padma, but this girl, Kristen, came in and she has done a fantastic job. And that's kind of how I feel Paige is not going to be Hillary.
No.
She's going to be Paige. I remember seeing her first on Flip or Flop Nashville, I think it was.
Yeah.
Her and her ex, Duran, who I really did like. I liked him and I liked their chemistry. And was disappointed when it was canceled. So I'm glad to see she's back. And you and I both love her on Rock the Block with her partner, Mitch. Is that his name? Mitch?
I can't remember. It was her contractor partner.
Yes.
And she was also on a show called Fix My Flip, which I don't actually remember.
I did not like it. It had a mean edge to it. You know what I mean?
It had a what?
Like the way they would, a mean. It was a little bit mean. The way they would talk to her, I didn't care for. She would give them her advice, and the response was sort of, I don't know.
I didn't like it was like a flipping
I didn't like the
101.
vibe. It was, except the homeowners talking back, kind of talking down.
This is seeming more familiar.
Anyway, it just rubbed me a little wrong. So I never really watched it, to be quite honest.
I agree. I think she was a good pick. I was interested to actually see this new season to see how it worked out. And the show starts out as always with David picking up, but Paige instead of Hillary.
Yes.
And then at the end, David confirms that he's still going to be expected to drive every time. And they have that typical back and forth banter that Hillary and he were so good at.
They do. It's different, but just as cute, just as clever. So,
and then the show currently films, for those of you who aren't familiar with it currently films in the Greater Toronto area of Canada.
Yes. Back to Canada.
Yeah. For a 10-year period, they were filming in North Carolina. Do you remember Hillary's home there?
I do.
We got to see it, but they've moved back to Canada. Everything we hear is that Canada has cheaper production costs. So I kind of wondered, do tariffs affect that? I don't know how they would affect production costs, but
I don't know. You know what? They also got rid of the narrator, that female voice.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I thought, that's strange. Wonder why they got rid of it. Maybe it's cheaper not to have a narrator.
I'm assuming one less person working it probably is.
The robot voice, yeah.
Now we get to meet the family and see the current house, and it's Jen and Theo, and they're a younger couple. They have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath with a 1-car garage.
Yes.
And they've lived in there for 15 years. They call it their starter home. And they have 2 adorable kids, Lucas, who's 10, and Naya, who's 5. Now, Theo says the kids were born in the house. And Rhonda, I was wondering, do you think they were literally born in the house? Because he says this again later on in the episode. And I thought, did she really
right here in the living room
squeeze them out in the house, or
right here?
Did they happen to live there when the kids were born? And I don't know. It's like things that made me go, huh?
I was going to say, nowadays I do work with a gentleman who I think it's his 9th kid is coming up here on Veterans Day. And every single one of them was born in his house.
Wow. Well, I feel like by the 9th kid, they just basically fall out.
Like a clown car. God bless him. God bless him. Anyway, so yes, he's got one of these super mothers.
Apologies to mommies everywhere who decide to have babies in their house.
I could see the appeal of it. I didn't get the same feeling that they had him in the house. I got the feeling that they brought them home.
Well, he says it so specifically. He repeats it again at the end, and I just thought,
you're right.
Huh?
Yeah, I do know. I have a girlfriend that's very nostalgic. When she moved out of her starter home, she was literally crying, because this is where she brought her babies home. Like, she remembers those memories.
I could not wait to move out of my starter home. I still have those memories with Matt there, but I was just like, I was ready to go.
That's funny. Well, I think you and Jen are in the same mindset, because Jen is definitely ready to go.
The other thing, besties, is I'm not terribly sentimental. So for me, it was an easy move. Now, as always, there's a dynamic where one person in the couple wants to stay, and in this case, it's Theo, the husband, and one who wants to go and buy something new, and that's Jen, the wife, and she wants more storage, another bathroom for sure, an updated kitchen and laundry, and a suitable bedroom for Naya.
Yes. Crazy talk.
I know. Now, the current house does have a beautiful backyard with a pool.
That was a big deal. The pool seemed to be a really big deal.
The second big deal was they're 5 minutes from this beautiful lake.
Yeah.
So as always, David's going to have a challenge finding them something that's in basically their same neighborhood.
Yes.
But also more affordable, because even as Paige points out later, the affordability over 15 years has changed.
It has. When she mentioned the price of housing, I actually made a note about that would certainly affect this show. Not just that, but the interest rates right here in America. Interest rates have gone way up. So what you can afford to buy may be way less than what you currently have.
Now, they have a small eating kitchen. It's a galley style with almost no counter space. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
No counter space. No, I was just going to say the overall feel as they were walking through this house that I had was just dark and jam-packed.
Yep. Lots of stuff. Marie Kondo books started flowing through my head. But I also realized with 2 younger children, there's a part of that clutter that you just, I guess as a parent today, you just need to have it. And kids bring clutter with them.
Yeah, the time it takes to go through that, I'm sure, is taken up with the raising of children and trying to, maintain a house like that. But that was when Paige kept saying jam-packed, and I thought, yes, that's exactly right. It's definitely needs a Marie Kondo workover.
Now, oh my God, a fireplace in the kitchen.
What the heck? What the heck?
And of course, Paige wants to move it. So see, Rhonda, having a fireplace in your kitchen is not the flex you think it is, because if you listen to us, besties, you know I have a fireplace. It's in my kitchen. I plan on getting rid of it and putting a fireplace somewhere else.
Beautiful fireplace. That thing looked cheap in 70s, and
Well, it's so.
I don't know why somebody even put it there.
But listen, it also looks so out of date with the black and brass. But I want to tell you, mine had brass accents too, like that shiny brass accent. And I just used high heat paint and I painted that. Yes. And I don't understand why some people live with these ugly, out of date things. And it literally cost me a $10 can of paint and not even a full afternoon.
Yeah.
That shiny brass paints beautifully, people. Just fix it. I'm getting rid of mine anyway, but I
don't know why.
I couldn't look at that bright brass anymore. And even for the time period that I have it in there, I didn't want to see it.
Now, Besties, it's a beautiful, beautiful brick fireplace. She has a giant, is it a Boston fern?
It's a Boston fern.
It's just the prettiest. And the way she does it for Halloween and for Christmas. But no,
it'll be gone.
It has to go.
It has to
go.
She's
crazy.
I'm going to put a fireplace somewhere else.
Whatever. It will not be as nice as that one. Let me just.
It will be so much nicer.
And full stop.
Then they go down to the basement, also known as the kid zone. And there is, like, if we thought it was cluttered upstairs, here we really see, literally there are baby clothes in the bar zone.
So,
and I'm just wondering,
those little
how
baby
do you
shoes?
still have those baby clothes sitting on a counter and the youngest child, Naya's 5 years old.
Yes.
So have those been there for 5 years? I have all of Matt's baby stuff that he doesn't want to take yet and I don't want to get rid of in a nice little, bento bin that's all labeled with here's Matt's baby stuff. But it wouldn't still be sitting out. 5 years later, it wouldn't be sitting out. That was funny to me.
I wonder if Theo pulled it out and put it there so they could have some sentimentality with the basement. I don't know. It was very strange to walk down a hallway and pick up a pair of baby shoes that are, like you said, over 5 years old.
I mean, are we going to see a bloody placenta next? She literally had the babies in the house.
Right here. Here's the stain. And then we may have to take that out.
Yeah, I probably will. And then their pantry is also literally down in the basement. So can you imagine so is their laundry room. So to do laundry or to go to the bathroom or get your food from the pantry, it's down in the basement.
Get a can of corn.
Now, they can go upstairs to go to the bathroom, but I just thought, how is there no bathroom on that main floor and no one says, hey, let's put in a little powder bath here?
So I think this is exposing your California upbringing.
Oh, we just went to the bathroom outside. Is that what you mean?
Total dirty hippies, yes. No.
I grew up in Santa Barbara, people. It's a hippie zone. Come on. Okay, just kidding. We didn't really go to the bathroom outside.
That's my favorite city. But anyway, if you grow up back east, you're familiar with these type houses that I will tell you that I used to have to go down in the basement to get, my grandma would send me down there to get a can of cream corn or whatever the heck she was making for dinner.
Didn't you know that that's where most of the murders happen? Like nothing good happens in a basement.
It was scary. It was definitely scary.
They get leaks to them. We listened to Mike Holmes on his show constantly talk about how basements are, problematic with radon and they're not watertight. And heaven forbid you try to do any kind of renovation because you're going to mess up that zone.
That's right.
Anyway, so you're right. I have no familiarity with basements. I've never lived in a house with a basement. I only see them in scary movies. They terrify the crap out of me. I don't ever want a basement.
Anyway, yes, most of the old houses I've been in, there's usually, for some reason, a toilet in the basement, but no bedroom or anything accompanying it, just sort of a strange... I think it's from, in Pittsburgh anyway, from the old days of working in steel mills and being filthy dirty when you come home. So you come in through the basement
that's a good point.
And clean up. But I presume the same thing happened in Toronto.
Maybe.
Because that's what they had. Like, I did the same thing you did. Why is there a full base? Why is there a full bathroom in a basement? That house felt
so 90s to me. We don't know when it was built, but just with all those diagonal lines. But speaking about the bathroom in the basement, now David calls it a three-piece, and Paige says that's where she's from.
I read that in my notes.
It's called a full bath.
Yeah.
And what I'll tell you is, I've done some research on this, that it's based on the going knowledge in your area from the assessors. Because code doesn't care about whether you call it a three-piece or a four-piece or a full or a half bath or a three-quarter bath, but it's really based on the real estate market in your area and how they refer to it. It has nothing to do with code. It has to do with the real estate community in your area.
I was just thinking more along the lines, people really don't take baths anymore. Like, how many flips do we see where they take out a bathtub, those giant jetted bathtubs, because people use it for storage?
In my area, where a lot of people come here to retire, it can be considered an upgrade to have a full shower and no bath.
I wrote it in my notes. I said, what's three-piece versus full bath? And when we built this house, I asked my mom, because she would be the one mainly staying in the guest bath, about the layout. And she said, take out that bathtub and put in a full shower. You know, walk in, walk out shower.
Again, here it would feel like an upgrade.
Yeah.
As long as you have a tub somewhere. In this house that we're watching on TV, the laundry room is pretty tragic.
Yes.
Punishment. Every time I went down there, I would think that there's an axe murderer down there. I would be afraid to go down. I'd be, honey, I have to wait till you get home from work to go down because you're spending time in the basement with me. I might send in my little 5-year-old first to make sure it's a safe zone. No, but I might take the dog, yes. And the basement overall, we talked about this, feels a little bit cluttered. And they only have a 1-car garage. So I think that's also part of their storage issue. Normally, like, I stack all kinds of crap in my garage. I don't know how I could live without a 3-car garage.
And you're one person?
And somehow these people are doing it with 1 car and they get real winter. Now, Naya's room is small, but I love the kid decoration.
The stripes were so perfect on that wall, weren't they?
I did, and I wished, because Paige painted it a similar color overall, and I thought she could have left the stripes. I would have kept them.
I thought they were beautiful. They were really well done. Really well done.
And we're getting ahead of ourselves because we'll talk about that later at the renovation. I'm sorry.
All right. So David's worried about the lake location.
Of course. There's always something he's worried about. A lot of times it has to do with people want to stay in their neighborhood. Yes. They're good friends with their neighbors.
And then Paige is worried about, obviously, space, right? There's just not a lot of space to work with there. So.
Yes. Now, in this current house, they never give us the total square footage, but it's valued at $725,000. And then they each have stay or go conditions. To move, Theo wants 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, a primary ensuite, a large kitchen, a 2-car garage, a finished basement, a large yard. I mean, this is a long list. Oh, and they still want to be close to the lake and have space for a pool. They want to be within 15 minutes of the lake, and his budget starts at $850,000. And Paige clarifies if the $850K includes a pool or if they need to add it. So does that include a pool if they need to add it? And Jen says, we'll cross that bridge when we
find me the house first.
To stay, Jen wants an updated kitchen, more storage. She wants to create a real mudroom, update the basement and the basement bathroom, update the laundry room, like basically create a laundry room because they're just stuffed in somewhere, the washer
really
dryer.
Laundry room.
Do something to work with Naya's bedroom, and that budget is $140,000. The list seems very long, and 140,000 pages, like, I think I can work with that. But as we always know, things come up. But what I can't figure out, and this is kind of my feeling throughout the episode, is these people have a bathroom problem.
Yes.
The idea that on the main floor there is no bathroom.
A powder room.
Go to the killer zone if you want to go to the bathroom. And like, I would have taken the ugly basement bathroom and kept it if they would have given me a powder room on the main floor.
But
and the other thing that wasn't obvious to me at first, they don't have an ensuite.
Yes.
So they literally have 1 bathroom on the second floor and all 4 of them share it. And that would be kind of a non-starter for me.
But again, it's a little bit of, it's your starter house. You're just you and your husband, and then the first baby comes and it's not a big deal. And I think it just sort of takes over before you realize.
I get it, but you're going to spend $140,000 to update it and you're not addressing either of those two things. They could have had a smaller mudroom and a smaller pantry and put in a powder
Everybody
bath
has
there.
something that's important to them, and I'm with you.
Honestly, this is when I started thinking, these people aren't staying in this house. Whatever the result is, because I felt like production is going to want her to win for her first episode. But I also felt like it doesn't pass my ho-ho test. You don't do these kind of updates and say, oh yeah, I'm going to live with that. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. Like Tamara would say, like, that's my opinion.
I was thinking, when you have a pool and then the kid says, I have to go to the bathroom, where are you sending them? Right? Are you sending them down in through the kitchen, downstairs? Like almost always out here in the West where, lot of people do have pools. A big selling item is bathroom access from the backyard. That's always a big deal.
Good point. Yeah. Now for the renovation, Paige brings Matt, the contractor, through the house. She tells him in the kitchen area she wants to remove the fireplace. Thank God.
Why it was there,
so they have more room for a proper mudroom and a pantry that's convenient to the kitchen. She also wants to close up their slider doors so the cabinet run can go all the way down the wall, and then she'll add an appliance garage.
When she suggested that, I remember I thought to myself, that's a bad idea. One for light.
Yeah, and there is a door. There's another door right there, but you're right. Like, I just thought, oh God, they talk about their backyard like it's the Holy Grail. Like, these people aren't going to want to give up access.
In and out all day.
Yeah. Now, in the basement, she wants the stone behind the fireplace to come down so she can add storage. And you know what? Like, that's real stone.
That's a task,
It's real stone. In my head, I was thinking, I wonder what else they're going to do with that stone. Because if I took stone like that down, I would want to use it somewhere.
Maybe in the backyard.
And she'll update the bathroom down in the basement, squaring it out to give it a little more room. She wants to flip the laundry area to the other side of the basement, next to the bathroom, so it gives them a dedicated laundry room, which was on Jen's must-have list. And this will leave the former laundry room and pantry area to be just dedicated storage. And it's actually a fairly large space.
I thought it was a good layout.
Now, she isn't sure how she's going to fix Naya's room. I agree it was a good layout, except for it's missing a half bath. Main floor of the house.
That's a big one. But
that wasn't a must-have for Jen, so that isn't Paige's fault. And Rhonda, do you think it's odd that they actually just never talk about giving them a primary ensuite bathroom?
Only because...
That it never even comes
up.
Yeah,
you're right. I don't know. That's a good. It didn't really occur to me because I thought, well, the $140K seemed like a good budget for what they wanted to do. It felt like, okay, that's a good number, right? $50K on the kitchen, blah blah, moving walls, taking out a fireplace. If they'd have thrown anything else on that, it would have been ridiculous, right? And there's probably no room. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of room in that house.
Yeah, they're not able to actually increase the floor plan. So she walks Jen and Theo through the renovation plan, and drama alert, Theo is not on board with taking out the slider door because they use it often for access to the outside, exactly as you pointed out.
I also thought
Rhonda.
about the light. The house is already dark, and you take that giant window out. I felt like it was just going to be so much less inviting. Let's just say that.
Now, renovation begins, and Matt shows her the chimney stack is pulling off from the house.
Can you imagine seeing that?
So it's a two-story chimney stack.
Oh, my God.
And he tells her it's an estimated $12K to remove it.
I saw that and thought, how has that stayed on that long? How has that stayed attached?
I know.
High winds.
And Matt's worried because to do the renovations they're going to do, there's going to be inspectors there, and that inspectors are not going to. That
reminded me of what we had always said about other inspectors coming for other things and then seeing something.
Yes.
So I think,
Like, by the way, now as she takes Jen and Theo on a walk through the house, after it's been demoed, she shows them the old fireplace wall, and it's black. This is the old fireplace wall in the basement, and it's black because whoever installed that fireplace did it through an old window, and the venting wasn't done right. And I am telling you, I couldn't tell if that was black from heat because drywall wouldn't turn black from heat, I don't think. I don't know. Or was it black from like creosote? Like, I didn't know what exactly was the black, but it looked pretty
scary. I thought it was black because it was Stephen King's entrance to hell.
That could also be.
Did Pennywise the clown to come crawling out? I mean, it looked like it looked horrible, right?
Scary. Yeah. And she also tells them about the chimney stack removal. Yeah. And Jen is so upset. Paige had offered that she could take the laundry room off the list to make up the $12K. And Jen is like, I'm going to have to take a minute. And I can see where in real time, when you're hit with these things, and I always feel like people should expect to hear bad news when they have an older home. Like, I'm assuming that's about a 30-year-old home. And people have done things in that home or updated it and maybe not done it right or with professional contractors. I think she should be really happy that house didn't burn down with them in it. Anyway, she's really upset.
That was a real indicator of her desperation to change the way she's living, to just change
that's a good
the
point.
Clutter and just everything jam-packed. And living like that has just got to be such chaos, such negative energy.
So heavy. Yeah.
So she takes a moment.
But then, But then later on, Matt tells Paige that the engineers come up with an idea that the city is also happy with.
Solution.
They're going to use a steel bracket to tie the chimney back into the house, and it will will only cost $2,000.
Yay. Everyone wins.
So do you think that was a real or made up drama for reality TV, Rhonda?
That felt real to me.
I felt like they already had the answer. They already knew it was $2K when they said, here's the $12K problem.
Her walking off, that felt genuine for an amateur, actress to pull off. Incredible anger.
And now we get to go on house tours with David.
Yes, first house.
So in the usual format, he's going to go through 3 houses. Starts with the first house. Do you want to describe it?
Clean, picked up, bright, big bedrooms, bath attached, which, you would have jumped on immediately, right? The main bedroom, I put in quotes, beautiful space. They just all love that main bedroom. Did have an unfinished basement, which even unfinished, it still looked better than their finished basement. And small yard, and unfortunately, Shari, it's a long walk to the lake from there.
It is, and it doesn't have a pool.
No pool.
It's a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, and the kids get to share their own Jack and Jill bedrooms. This is new. Jen likes the house, but Theo does complain about the walk to the lake. And this is what David always does with the first home tour. It goes one of two ways. He either shows them a house that has everything they want, but it's way overpriced, or he shows them a house that meets some of their criteria, but is within their budget
or their location.
And then they either have to say at some point, I'm going to raise the budget, or I'm going to give up things on my must-have list. And either way, it's always a win for David because it tells him, like, here's where they're willing to go. And Jen offers, after this first home
opens
tour,
the door,
that they maybe could stretch the budget. I don't feel like Theo was ever on board with that plan.
Me either.
House number 2, listed at $900,000, so it's $50K over budget, which even as Jen points out, you amortize that. That's not a lot of money. It's a 5-bed, 4-bath with a pool and a 2-car garage.
Open, lots of natural light, I love the windows in that house. I thought they were beautiful.
Oh my goodness. Still 15 minutes away from the lake.
They all said this.
But the basement's renovated.
Yes. And I put in quotes, crazy beautiful. And they were talking about the bedrooms. So
Yes. And they're big.
the pool was smaller, but the backyard bigger.
The yard was beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
So Theo is kind of like, on the $50K over budget. So finally they go see one more, and it's a house in their neighborhood. And David explains, like, it's one of only 2 houses for sale in their neighborhood. So it's kind of this or nothing. It's on budget at $850. It reminds me a lot of their current house, though.
Except no dining room.
With an extra bathroom.
No dining room.
Only a 1-car garage. Like, it looks just like their house. It does have a finished basement and an updated kitchen with the open concept for the kitchen and family room. As you pointed out, no dining room. Now, there is no ensuite. Like, there is no bathroom attached to the primary bedroom. But generally, it feels like they're a little unimpressed.
I think it's just too small. I think it was the same feeling. They weren't getting much with that. So it's that.
And then Jen says she's still kind of stuck on the last house, on house number 2. So Theo says they want to see what Paige does and what it's worth once renovated before they'll make a decision. But they're kind of set. If they make a decision to sell, they're interested in number 2.
They just have to balance closer to the lake, closer to budget.
And I wonder how often they walk down to the lake. A lot of people... They talk about a feature, but they don't actually use it that often.
Pools are a good example of that.
So I wondered...
You had a pool?
And if they use their pool a lot, they're not at the lake.
You had a pool, and what did you tell me?
For the first 3 months, we used it a lot, and then it just became a maintenance. Like, it became a lot.
Yeah, I think you told me the last year you were there, Matt went in at once, or you went in at once. I can't remember what.
It was something like that. It was probably Matt.
So, I use my pool every day, almost as a, I'm going to get my money's worth out of this.
Yeah, Rhonda doesn't really shower, besties, so she uses the pool.
I live in the desert. I'm very sweaty. It's very sweaty here.
Her water bills are very expensive. They're
insane.
In southern Nevada. So any way you can save water, it's a smart thing to do.
Oh my gosh.
And then we get the big reveal, and it starts with a new front door, which looks fabulous.
Well, let me just say, Paige was looking fabulous. So pretty in pink.
Yes, she did.
Down. Pretty in pink.
Paige is always styling.
Head to toe.
Yeah, she looked very good.
Shoes, everything.
And in the entryway, the banister and stairway have been updated, along with all new flooring for the main floor. And now the kitchen is still a galley kitchen, but it looks so much more open.
Is that a white kitchen?
What?
Did she give them a white kitchen?
I don't understand how we're talking about open floor plans and white kitchens when, according to the internet, they are ding, ding,
according
gone,
to
gone.
the angry interior designers that are on my feeds, white is out. It could not be more boring and sterile, right? And then I see this kitchen. I'm like, this is beautiful. I would take it in a hot minute. I think it's gorgeous.
And it looked so much better. Again, it's not a huge space, but it looks so much more
with that
open
white tile. Oh,
and less
the
cluttered.
tile was so beautiful. The backsplash. I loved it.
Even though they kept the slider door, she was able to still give them a custom appliance storage garage, just a little smaller. And then the quote unquote most random fireplace in the world is gone. And now they have a walk-in pantry and the mudroom has been updated.
Did you see Jen's face when she sees that walk-in pantry? Euphoric. Seriously.
That's when I start thinking maybe they're not selling.
It's so cute to me to see how a frazzled mom reacts to just some storage, some life solutions.
Can you imagine, though, cooking in the old kitchen where you go down to get something from the pantry down below and then you realize you've forgotten something the minute you get up to the kitchen, you're like, back down
bacon's
you go.
burning while you're down there looking for the can of corn. No, it's tough.
Speaking of the basement, it looks great. The stone wall is gone and now they have closed storage, which is just a must if you have kids. And it looks like they put in an electric fireplace, which is what I'm going to do too, because I'm getting rid of the gas one, and Rhonda is like, just like that. It also looks fabulous.
Jenny started crying.
She did.
She did. Now, again, Jenny's not a paid actress.
It was so good.
Jenny is not being paid. She is a human being who is really just that thrilled that her life is getting better.
Paige has also updated the basement bathroom and included a heated floor, which was a bonus.
Aquamarine tile. I actually looked it up because I want to have that for my house.
Aquamarine is my birthstone, by the way.
One of the cheaper gems. I think you could have one as big as your head and it would be $5. But anyway.
Yes, true. True.
I wish I could have just held on another week and gone to April. Just saying. Got the diamond.
Yeah, I would have to hold on for longer.
But anyway, David points out, who is this for? Who is this bathroom for? Are you coming down 2 flights of stairs to take a shower in the morning? I don't know.
You know what? That's a good point. Maybe at one point, I don't know if there's a bedroom down there or not that we just didn't
There wasn't.
see.
There was just that living area and the laundry room.
I don't know. Again, I would have taken the money and I would have put a half bath on the main floor, but that's
something
just
for
me.
guests. Yeah.
And then Jen now has a dedicated laundry room, and that room also looks
beautiful.
So nice. And so much utility.
Isn't that the room with blue cabinets? The laundry room?
Yes.
I was really surprised to see blue cabinets. I loved them, but I thought, do the homeowners, they never show this because of course they've got a show that, it's full of other stuff, but do the homeowners have any say in the materials on these shows?
They must, because blue was used all throughout the basement and sometimes in subtle ways. And I felt like that had to have been a conversation with the homeowners.
Yeah, if it was you, you'd be like, well, I hate blue, but this is nice.
I'd be like, how much would it cost to paint? And how quickly
was
can
there
we
anything
do
left
it?
over? Because we got to paint these cabinets. We can keep the blue tile. We can keep the blue tile, but these cabinets have to go.
The final task that Paige had was Naya's bedroom, and they were really curious to see how Paige did because she never really would give them a complete answer on what solution she had for it. But I will tell you, she really created what looks like more room but isn't. Paige is really good at not adding any square footage, but somehow making it seem like it's more square footage.
Agree.
Now, the only negative I have to say about it is that kid who's 5 years old is going to have to stand on the bed to get to some of those shelves, which I thought was pretty funny.
So I wanted to ask I don't know if you noticed the before picture of her room, there's one of those heat registers in the floor.
I didn't notice.
We don't run into that a lot because ours are in the ceiling.
Mine are in the floor.
So yeah, you have to pay attention to where those are and how you're going to use them, right? How they're going to be situated in the room. So she basically put that bed and little shelving thing right on top of that heat register. So do you have to move the register or can the heat?
No, you can just redirect it.
Redirect it.
I have moved one of my registers. I did it for my office reno, mostly because we literally moved a wall. But no, you can just redirect it. So they have things you can put on them that redirects where the airflow is going.
So yeah, anyway, I just saw that in the first one and then I thought, wait a minute, that bed is now covering that heat register. I do remember as a kid growing up, I would sit on top of it with my little polyester, probably flammable nightgown and like cover the whole heat register with my little gown, so it would blow up and just try to warm up before going
feels
to school. Yeah. So anyway, memories.
And we've talked about this before with this show. How hard would it be to walk away when everything looks so perfect and new? Yeah. There's no I live here clutter. And it was going to have that. But that initial moment of, oh my gosh, like this just feels so good.
Where's all their stuff? Is there some sort of like transportainer sitting out front?
Well, they created that room down in the basement that could just totally be storage. She's also created more storage in some of the spaces. So maybe that's where it is. But yeah, this looks like a model home perfect now. And that isn't how it's going to look when people live in it. But I can imagine that first feeling of, oh, this feels so good. And everything's been done just the way I wanted it. I needed this and I needed this. And that's what they've done. So I feel like it'd be hard to walk away from that.
Almost impossible if you ask me. But
now, David's convinced the 4-bedroom house is their forever home, and I agree. I still really think that these people did sell that house because their starter home is not going to be their forever home. And how much longer do they want to live with no ensuite, no bathroom on their main floor?
I was going to say, I just thought the list, it was really the right decision in this case.
Now, David also shows them the new value of their house. So the value went from $725K to $910K after they spent $140K in renovations. So with that added equity in their home, provided they sell it at this new assessment, they should be able to afford the number 2 house, which was $50K over budget.
And again, when you look at that over 30 years, it's really $100 or something. It's not a lot.
And then so the decision, do you want to say?
We're going to love it.
Yes, they decide they love their home and they're going to stay.
Ultimately,
we love
this house. We've been here for 15 years, blah, blah, blah.
All those sentimental stuff. Our kids were born in here.
Yes, right here. In the kitchen.
And of course, Paige is thrilled and David is kind of a little questioning it. But, you know, I have read online, and I think you've read some stuff about Love It or List It online too, that they filmed both a Love It and List It ending, and it's the producers who decide which one is shown.
Balance out the season.
But the idea of whether they sell it or keep it has nothing to do with what the homeowners actually do.
It's an example of reality TV being the least reality thing in the world.
Yeah. And when you even think about the order of the show, that has to happen because there's no way the house that they love is still going to be available by the time a reno's done.
HGTV said, here's $50K, hang on to this house.
And I just feel like, well, especially now, HGTV is being so cheap, there's no way they're going to do that.
Maybe that's why they're out of money, holding all these houses.
That's right.
But yeah, I thought the List It was clearly the best decision in that case. Although, would you go through that kind of renovation where you move out, pack up all your stuff, get out of there, and then put that $140K into your house with your fingers crossed that it pays off in 6 months?
I wouldn't do it, but I think about the show with Lindsay and Leslie Lamb, Unsellable Houses.
Northwest.
And that's kind of what happens, except that Lindsay and Leslie put up the renovation money up front, and then they share in the profit. So I guess I have to say it is different in that Lindsay and Leslie are very sure when they make their investment that they're going to be able to get the investment back. But yeah, $140K, and that's not the largest budget I've seen on this show. So it is kind of a lot of money to put up and think, oh, I'm just going to get all this done and then I'm going to sell it.
And that's going to pay off.
You're right. You're right.
Especially when you're not putting it en suite.
Yeah. So I wonder if this is really just another version of the couple renovation show.
Maybe. But either way, I was glad to watch it. I watched probably that whole season. It was available on HBO Max.
Yeah.
I have to say, the shows got more and more interesting. This was sort of an entry, right? An introduction for Paige.
Yes.
But yeah, Besties, there's some other shows in Love It or List It season 20. The house with all the different levels.
I heard it described online about a new infectious energy with Paige that's kind of revived the show, which is not to put Hillary down because I love her. Not. I miss Hillary and I hope to see her back on a different show where she does get the challenge she's looking for. The Paige and David duo really does work for the Love It or List It formula.
I never once thought, oh, I wish Hillary was still here, or oh, that wouldn't have happened if Hillary was here. It was a seamless introduction, and basically they're off and running. And as I watched the rest of the seasons, I really, like I said, I was really invested in them because they get more and more interesting as the season goes on.
Anything else to say about the show before we wrap up here?
No, I don't. I usually try to say no and then have something, but this time I'm going to say no.
Okay. Well, that wraps up the season premiere of Love It or List It. And honestly, it had everything. Sentimental dads, strategic storage, and a galley kitchen glow up.
Paige came in strong, and David got a fresh reminder that no matter how many houses he shows, he still has to drive.
That's right. The real MVP, though, that basement transformation. Yes. Closed storage, a heated floor, and a laundry room that might actually make me want to do laundry. Might. But I am still nervous about the serial killers who hang out in basements.
Well-lit basements, finished basements. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Naya's room? I mean, it's cute, but unless she's training for Cirque du Soleil, the shelf situation does feel like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
And also, how are we still pretending that one shared upstairs bathroom is a long-term solution? Love the reno, but I'd be brushing my teeth in the backyard.
Yeah, those kids are going to grow up. Just saying. All right, special posting time. Head to our Instagram and Facebook to vote. Are you team keep the memories, or are you team give me an ensuite or give me death? Drop your verdict in the comments. Was this a love it win or a production pick me up to welcome Paige? Was the fix in?
And as always, we have some apologies. I'm sorry to people who love kitchen fireplaces, especially the ones from the 90s trimmed in shiny brass. You can paint that, people. Just paint it.
Again, I would love to know the story behind that fireplace. Was that there when they moved in?
Well, I feel like for sure the one downstairs was an addition. Like someone added that because they used a window to vent it.
Yeah.
Well, until next time, besties, bye.
Bye. See you soon.
If you are vibing with us and your brain is basically made of HGTV at this point, you need to catch up on all of our episodes at designingbesties.com. We're literally everywhere you listen to podcasts, so hit that follow, like, star, or whatever button your app throws at you. We're not picky, we're just needy.